Good morning, everybody, and this is your S&P 500 day trade setups for today, Friday the 13th. Lucky for some and unlucky for others. So we got the data out yesterday. CPI came out fairly flat, so it explains the massive range that we formed. And you can see, this thing was a 665 point range, almost 1.7% swing in the market, just over that data, and there was a massive gap down which closed pretty quickly. We have tagged 4,000, we've tagged it twice, and you can see the sellers coming in up 4,000 as we expected yesterday. That was going to offer resistance, so that's what's playing out. We do have a bit of an inside bar forming right now, but the important thing that we have here is a crossover of all the moving averages. So I would expect us, being Friday, end of the week, I would expect us to try and find our feet above one of these three levels, and probably this one is the one that we really need to stay above on the weekly, which is 39.55. We are forming a bit of a wedge, showed that yesterday. You can draw a line along the top here, and along the bottom there is a bit of a wedge. And I almost would say if we take that tail there and do that, we are at the 61.8 Fibonacci of this previous move down. So lots going on here. As I said, we recapture 4,000, then it's onwards and upwards, or alternatively, this could be seen as a setup for a continuation down, for another swing down, which could happen, but I see it being a little bit unlikely, and we're going to have a lot of resistance here. So you can probably just put this fourth level in here, over there. So this area here would offer a lot of resistance, and this was the close of last year. So for the first real trading week of the year, if you look at that, we have a green bar, but for all intents and purposes we are stuck between the moving averages still, so we are ranging. And as I said yesterday, we need to swing above this pin bar from a couple of weeks ago to actually start getting some momentum to the upside. So lots going on in here. You can see lots of chaos here, so that is pretty much what I would expect us to be doing. So drilling down through the time frames, we've got the crossover on the 3 hour. We are pointing to the upside. We're a little bit overbought right now, so I would expect us to pull back or go sideways, to be quite honest. And this level here, let's get it exact, which was our previous swing high on the week, that has not been tested successfully. You can see we closed below it on the 3 hour before jumping up. So that needs to be tested as far as I'm concerned. We've also got a little bit of structure right here, which we've also closed below, which is right there. So what you're looking for is you're looking for an opportunity to get long. No diversions there. You can see that's a lower high, which is indicated by the oscillators as well. Trend is up. Trend's been up all week, pretty strong. But you can see here's the noise, this bar here. Absolutely insane when you look at what happened here. So you had this, wasn't an hourly gap, it was a lower time frame gap. Probably see it on the 15-minute. Yeah, here it is here. So you can see we gapped all the way down to what was that? We gapped down to 39.47, and then the buyer stepped in. At first moved down to come and test 39.40 before reversing, moving up, coming back, and then you can see confusion. I mean, you can see it in every single bar. The difficult one to trade with the noise yesterday. And if you look at this on the 15-minute, we've already broken through this bit of structure here. So just add the next bit of structure, which is this one here. We did test it there, and this level here is 39.66. So for me, if we can get above 39.77 and just hold that, then I would expect another attempt at 4,000. So I don't want to be taking the long there. This is another option for a long, which is 39.66. then I would also be looking for something to the upside. Oscillators are grouping nicely to the downside on the 15-minute, but on the hour we've got a little way to go. So it wouldn't surprise me to see us drop back into this little range here and just bounce around before taking our cue from the DAX, or the European markets. Lots of British data coming out today, so British GDP I think comes out today among things. And then we have earnings season. So you've got the banks kicking off today. So I suspect we are, specifically for the S&P, probably just going to be hovering around either in a range. It's either going to be a small tight range here, or it's going to be a bigger range, and we're going to be retesting 4,000 here. But trend is up, so we're looking to buy. If we look at this on the hour, a drop down to here at 39.54, that would definitely give me some opportunities here to buy. And I'm just going to use this level here because there's another fractal right there. So that's our zone. So we're looking at 39.54 and we're looking at 39.47. So 39.50 would be a nice number to be looking for price action to form for another move to the upside. And obviously then you'd be testing, you're still looking for 4,000. But yeah, just bear in mind if that does happen, that basically forms a big range. You can see from the high of yesterday and almost the lows of yesterday, that would be the range. So that's kind of my view for today. Lastly, just pay attention to the weekly, because obviously, you know, they're going to want the weekly closing above this area here, which is 39.47. So they need a weekly close above 39.50 so that they can then aim for a weekly close above 4,000. So that's kind of the setup that you can see on the weekly. But pay attention to these weekly moving averages. They have not crossed over yet. There's no confirmation of an upward trend from the weekly perspective just yet. And looking at the daily, nothing much here. You can see pin bars. We do have a crossover here that's forming, and we are above the 155, but we still need to see that crossover as well. So, and if you look at the oscillators, they're sort of separating and heading to the upper side. So any breaks below the tail of yesterday starts getting us moving down, and the bar that formed yesterday, you could see that as a hanging man. Okay, so be very cautious. There's no real reason to be shorting just yet, but there's also no real reason to be long either. So what you want to be doing is scalping off the lower time frames and keeping those stops really tight. So 50 minutes, you start getting above here and you bounce, you can try it here. Start dropping below 39.66, then it's short scalps down to 39.50. Start dropping below the swing lows of yesterday, then your first target is going to be 39.26 and then 3900. So yeah, let's see how the week unfolds. I think that's pretty much what we need to do. But 50 minutes is the way to do it today. Hope that helps, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow morning. No, we won't. Sorry, we'll catch up with you on Monday morning. Enjoy the weekend. Cheers for now.